Yep. Hey, what's up, Yo TV? Up next, we're gonna go check out some clips from the Hells Angels funeral, the ice raids,
CYMC,
choice of weapons,
you know,
and the elections. Check it out next, only on Yo TV.
J City.
Oh boy, yeah, we Yo TV, we back here.
Youth culture, youth voices, youth power, coming at you.
What's happening, we Yo TV out here?
Before we go any further, I have to big up the magazine. Start looking.
Oh boy, tell us if you from.
Youth Outlook, chronicle of young people's lives in the Bay Area.
Known all over the Bay and beyond.
Got a lot of good stuff for you this time. Yo!
Welcome to Yo TV. My name J City.
And I'm Vanessa.
You can see me on mission right now at Homies. Well, they making t-shirts right now, all everywhere. You can smell the little stuff up in here. It's hot and everything. But up next, you go check out Ice Rage, and you
Might even recognize some people from Homies there.
Matter of fact, you go see some people from Homies there. Check it out up next on Yo TV.
Young people and some of their allies from across the Bay Area have gathered here today and are going to go to the ICE building, and we are going to, just like this circle, enclose their offices and enclose them within our circle and not allow any of their buses to leave to go out on any raids today.
There's a lot going on right now. There's the elections that are happening, and no politician is talking about it. No politician is talking about the issues that our communities are going through, the oppression that our communities are going through. Also, it's Dia de los Muertos is coming up next week, and we're also remembering all those that have died crossing the border, bad working conditions, here being killed by the police brutality, ICE brutality, and in detention centers. So first, I'd like to thank everybody, all the students that were detained at the BART stations, all the students that have been working and organizing and talking to people, and they are here today to speak out against all the injustices that our communities are suffering right now, right? All these raids, all these deportations, all the deaths of our communities on the borders, poor, working conditions, just breaking into their homes, breaking their windows, terrorizing their kids, having young people 9 years old, 13 years old, 5 years old, with guns to their heads saying that if they move, they're gonna get shot. Are we okay with that? No! So what do we say? No justice?
No peace!
No justice?
No peace!
There's been a lot of times that people have been divided. I mean, if you look in California, the detention centers that happened during Japanese internment were wrong. Slavery was wrong. People's native land being taken was wrong. And at this time in our lives, what's wrong is that raids are happening with the consent of the government, and police are complying with ICE agents here in San Francisco, in a place that claims to be one of the most progressive places in the world. So if we really are a beacon for the rest of the world to look at, if we really are a progressive place, we need to stand up in defense of our immigrant communities and not allow any more people to be deported, not allow anybody else to be taken in the middle of the night.
Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way!
Alright, welcome back. We still at Homies. Well, behind us, you can see a dude making a t-shirt. Like, that's how they really make the t-shirt. That's sick how they do that, but
Live, you can check it. It's gonna come out right there.
if you really want a t-shirt made, you can come to Mission Street.
Check out Homies. Come support
But-
Homies.
But up next, though,
I got to go to a funeral for Mark Papaguerrado, and as you can see from the clip, you'll see thousands of people on motorcycles. They did a huge parade, like for 30 minutes from Castro all the way down.
yeah, it's really
Dolores.
riding a
It was
motorcycle
crazy.
for like 30 minutes down one street. Motorcycles after for 30 minutes straight. But check it out. Up next, Yo TV.
Mark Anthony Papa Gordato Sr. was a hero to thousands of people across the world. Probably double the amount that showed up to his funeral to pay their respects for him as a man. He was an example to everybody for every aspect of life. See, he wouldn't back down from anything, but he was such the kindest man to give anybody respect, whether it be a civilian, another Hell's Angel, a child, people he never met before in his life. He made sure that he left an impression on them that stuck to him way past his death into eternity. Now he's part of a history because of the man that he was.
Mark, as everybody knows him, Papa, was probably one of the most kindest men that I've ever met in my life, and I've met a lot of people in various different sides of life. The view that people have on him because of the club that he represents is wrong. This is a man who worked very hard for everything he's ever had in his life, who, as another person would say, if you stubbed your toe and ended up in the hospital, he'd go to work, and if he found out you're in the hospital, he'd make sure the first thing he did when he got out of work was stop by and see you to make sure you're okay, and then go about his daily routine. Papa was one of those guys, no matter if he met you once or if he was by your side every day, was just the kindest man for you and would help you in anything you needed. What people say about him is all hearsay. You don't know somebody what they're truly about unless you know them. And for everybody that did know him, knew that he was respectful. He would always think of everybody else but him. He could be in bed and he'd get up out of bed and come help you. Jump start your car or push your bike into the back of a pickup truck he borrowed from someone else because the damn thing broke down on you. And that's just how he was. Many people have a lot of respect for him because of that, because people like him really don't exist anymore. There are very, very few people in the world who had all the characteristics that he has. And that's why he's greatly missed by people in San Francisco all the way around the world who ever came across his path, because he was a man's man. He was the epitome of a stand-up man who was true to himself and everyone around him. And that's the man who many of us were very, very lucky to have known, spent time with in life. And for the things that are being said about him, it hurts us because we know the truth of who he is. And what they're telling you is a fiction and a very false accusation of someone who was the complete opposite of everything that's being said. I have a conversation that him and I had one day, and I don't remember how it started, but he was in a situation and he was being persecuted for the stereotypes of the club he represented by a police officer, by a sheriff. And the sheriff was tearing into him about all the accusations of his brothers in the club. And he said that he looked at the sheriff and said, I read the other day in a paper that a sheriff in one of the local prisons raped an inmate. He's like, so is it fair for me to call you a rapist just like that person? And the sheriff said, not at all. That was that person. That's not me. And he said, well, then don't judge me for hearsay of others. I am who I am.
The media, it's very difficult because of our Constitution in America how we have the right to print out or produce anything about anybody, whether it be false, true. It's part of the First Amendment. So it is people's rights to say anything about anybody. But karma comes back into full circle. So these people saying these things about this man who don't really know what they're saying, hopefully on their deathbed somebody will be spitting on their deathbed. That's all I wish from that, because he didn't deserve it, you know. He did not deserve the criticisms that he received. And I believe that through positive connections between people that truly love that man, the truth will come out, and the people that are saying the things that they're saying will be put to silence because of it, because they won't have any other choice but to see all these groups of people against just those two saying the negative things. Papa was a hero, a mentor, a father, just an inspiration for life. He was a philosopher and a great teacher for everything. He'd give people second chances, third chances, make sure people got off their drug addictions. And he wasn't even family related to these people, giving food away, giving things away when he wasn't even a materialistic person himself. All the things being said negatively need to really be looked at before they go out and just say the things that they're saying, because that's how you get up in the streets. And that's all I have to say.
Man, as we wait on this little thing to fall,
Check out the elections. We hit Berkeley and SF State.
man, but now, watch this fall before you go to the next city. Ooh.
What's going on, everybody? We are SF State on Election Day. Big day, people are voting, casting their ballots, making a difference and change. We're going to talk to young people about why they're voting, who they're voting for, and what issues are most important to them. Check it out.
My name is Sormay, and I'm 20 years old, and I was born in San Francisco, grew up mostly in the Bay Area. This is not my first time voting. I voted a couple years ago when I could, but this time I think it's a much more important vote.
My name is Edward. I am 39, and this is not my first time voting. Why did I vote? I voted because I wanted my vote to count.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie. I'm 21, and I'm from Arcata. So I'd never voted in a presidential election before, and I'd always voted absentee before, so this is my first time at like an actual polling place. And the line was ridiculously long. It was like over an hour waiting, and it was just in some person's garage, which is like great that they, donate their garage as a polling place. But also it's funny, like you put the ballot in the machine after you're done voting, and like voting is supposed to be private and people aren't supposed to look at your ballot, but like everyone could see your ballot when you're putting it in the machine because you have to like stick it in face up. So that was a little awkward.
Oh, my name is Maggie. I am 30, and I have voted before, but this election is the most important election of our lifetimes.
My name is Paul Stevens. I'm 18 years old. I live in San Francisco. I grew up here my whole life. This is my first time voting, and I'm glad it's a presidential election.
My name is Gabe. Currently live in San Francisco, originally from the East Bay, Concord, California. Well, it's probably about maybe like the fourth time I voted. I feel like this election is there's a lot of changes that need to be made, and this is a very important election and historical. And I think our vote counts in a lot of ways, and like this election is so close right now that even like 1 or 2 votes can make a difference in this election.
Well, a lot of the propositions were really important this time around. I'm going to throw it out there. No on 8 if you haven't voted yet. Marriage for everybody loves. We can't take away constitutional rights.
On Prop 8, I voted no, just because I think it's kind of unfair. Why is it unfair? Because I just think, personally, I think equality for all should be number one. I mean, America has like fought against discrimination, and then all of a sudden they want to discriminate again. I don't think that's kind of cool.
I think one of the issues was Prop 8. Gay marriage was actually a big thing for me. My partner is actually in France, and I live here, so it's kind of a big issue for me. I think that the presidential race was a big thing as well. Being an African American, I wanted to see an African American in office. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's true. So I think that was important to me.
I hope that Obama will win, and then we'll get out of the war, and that the economy will turn around, and that Prop 8 won't pass, and Prop 6 won't pass, and yada yada yada.
Some issues, for example, were Prop 8. I believe discrimination is discrimination, no matter whether you're gay or lesbian. I think everyone has the right to live freely and be able to marry whoever they want.
Important issues to me were voting no on Prop 4, voting no on Prop 8, no on Prop 8. I think it's ridiculous that in the year of 2008, some people are still talking about taking rights away for certain groups of people and writing discrimination back into the California Constitution. That is unacceptable. And Prop 4, we really need to protect the safety of teenage girls. Not all of them come from homes where they can have that kind of communication with their parents. And it's not the place of government to legislate communication.
I think Prop 6 and Prop 9 are both really important. They're about the prison system. One of them, I think it's Prop 6, is about trying more juveniles as adults, which I think is a huge issue. And the other one is about making it more difficult for people to be on parole. And then also I think it's Prop 5 is for funding for substance abuse treatments as an alternative to prison for nonviolent drug offenses, and those I think are really important.
I know some of my friends aren't. Some of my friends are. Like my brother, for instance, he doesn't vote. I don't know why, but so I have 50-50 right now. My friends half of them are voting, half aren't.
I really hope that he pulls the troops out of Iraq. 2 of my cousins have been back and forth twice already. Breaks my heart. They have little kids that I don't want to see them grow up fatherless. I really hope that all this nonsense about Iran he blows over and takes care of. Because again, I have a lot of family over there and I really care about the people and I don't want anything to happen to them. And I just really hope that he makes a huge change and just helps start basically a revolution.
Well, for as far as the propositions, I'm Catholic, so I don't believe in abortion. I believe in a woman's right to choose, though, so I would say no on Prop 4. For Prop 8, I would say no, too. I believe everybody deserves to be happy regardless of orientation.
I don't have cable, so I watch the debates on YouTube, and watching all of the clips that they put on television, on the internet as far as propaganda, and just analyzing everything and trying to find my own decision, doing a lot of research on the internet, and just talking to people about how they felt, and kind of getting my own idea of how I felt on these issues. My views are different. Actually, my sister and I have been talking about Prop 8 a lot, and she's like, oh, the Bible says that it's not holy to do it, and I was just telling her, well, to just follow your own heart. God didn't create the Bible, and and God preaches love, and by discriminating, that's not preaching love at all.
I have the same views as my parents. They raised me with a very Bay Area mindset, and a lot of my family just called to make sure, are you voting? Are you voting? And I'm like, don't worry, I'm voting.
Well, I actually vote what my conscience is and what I feel. I mean, my friends, there are some on opposite ends, like with Prop 8, with John McCain versus Barack Obama. So I can see both sides. So I really vote what I feel, not versus what my friends. I don't go to the peer pressure because I'm a little bit too old for that now.
Yes and no. I mean, we agreed on a lot of things, but Prop 8 being one of them was different because my dad and my mom are very traditional, and they think that it should just be between a man and a woman. And I understand that because that's the way they grew up with it, and that's kind of the way I grew up with it, but I guess they haven't been exposed to as much as I have. So, I mean, on certain things that we were different, but a lot we were the same. Except, for president, they picked McCain, so.
Youth Outlook documents current events and issues going on in your community. more information, go to youthoutlook.org.
Yeah, check out the shirt though. Like a dude from the hood and a bandana and a hat on. It's a nice shirt, gray, you know. But anyway, up next, CYMC. You can check it out next on the clip, Yo TV.
Choice of weapons, check it out.
Yeah, about that baby thing.
Right now, we're at the Brava Theater. My name is Brian Storm. I'm the director of Choice of Weapons, and I am a part of CYMC. Choice of Weapons came from a book by Gordon Parks. That's how we got the name of the movie. And it's basically, the movie is about a young man finding himself, being born into a mess, and just coming out of it. It relates in the sense that Gordon was a photographer, and he used his camera to fight what he sees ugly about America and like paint a light on that. And that's what our character is doing in the movie. He's taking a video camera and he's it's like exposing things.
Hey, yeah, check it out. It's your boy C-Dub, Charles Williams, Choice of Weapons movie coming out right now. We just came for this premiere at Brava Theater. I'm with my young Dunnies, just a few of my young Dunnies in the group.
My name is Ruben Palomares. They call me City Life. Well, what I did, I was the director, cinematographer for the movie Choice of Weapons.
How long it took us to do the whole movie was a year. We started in October 2007, started writing it. We ended up writing the script in I think it was February or March, and then we did casting and filming, and we just finished editing it in the last month. So it's been almost exactly a whole year in making this movie.
It was a small crew, so since it was a small crew, a lot of people had a lot of roles into the movie.
Well, sometimes it didn't feel like it was going to be done, the movie didn't feel like it was going to finish ever, or the finished project was going to come, or the first day of premiering it was going to be done, but it's here, and I'm really excited it's here, really excited.
Learning light was the big thing for me because I'm the cameraman. They expected me to know light and master it and all this in a short period of time, and that was my obstacles right there.
My name is Joko. I'm 18 years old. I was raised here in the Mission District. I did compose the music for this movie. Well, a lot of it depends on not only the plot, but what the mood is for a certain scene. The interesting thing that we did with this movie was we combined hip-hop, we combined orchestral sounds, we combined even some rock to really evoke certain feelings in certain scenes, a lot of vocal stuff. So we kind of just went to work and went to town on this movie and just really incorporate a whole bunch of different moods. Personally, how do I do it? I usually write them on the piano, and then I bring in people who play violin, cello, trombone, real instruments, because those are always the best, and I kind of put together my own bedroom orchestra.
Personally, I never thought I was going to make a feature film. I had, questions and thoughts about making a feature film, but I never thought I was really going to make one. I mostly wanted to make documentaries or little underground documentaries about San Francisco.
I like the support that's here right now. I never did nothing like this before, so I got the jitters, but don't mind me. I'm having fun right now.
Well, the movie it's about redevelopment. It's talking about how people are being kicked out of the Bayview and gentrification, how they're cleaning out neighborhoods. They're just it's like urban renewal, just get all the black people out, move in big businesses.
How you doing? My name is Marcus Gardner, better known as Aku. I will be playing the character of my man Derek. Derek is a disgruntled worker who pretty much, he's been working on a job for some years, and he's sick, meaning, chronic disease sick, but won't admit it. And he's been working for a company that moves asbestos. But he's showing a young man the ropes, and pretty much, I guess the outcome is you can pretty much see where Derek will end up continuing on working for this company.
It's a recession, man. Everybody broke right now. So, in the hood, it's a redevelopment going on. They trying to redevelop everybody's hood. That's going on in everybody in San Francisco and the whole Bay. And we just trying to talk about it because, man, we lived there our whole life. And them jobs and them houses supposed to be us, and they trying to kick us out. And it's also a toxic waste disease over there, and they building houses on top of it, and that ain't even cool right there. And that's going to the toxic waste disease causes breast cancer and asthma, and it's deadly.
You have a story being created by young people and giving that young perspective and that African American, shall I say, perspective of what's going on in their community.
The stuff that they're talking about in this film is really going down at Hunters Point. It's really happening. It's all relevant and it's real. And a lot of the people who worked on this film, like I said, are youth from the city who experienced this stuff. It's based on real people. The story is, put together by a bunch of different compelling stories. and this is all relevant. So I think it's like City of God meets Do the Right Thing meets, I don't know, Sicko. It's you know, it's informative and it's interesting and it gets you angry at the system and at the politicians that aren't doing anything and that have allowed this to happen, all this disease, all this cancer that's occurring from, you know, these asbestos-related deaths.
For those of you who are just finding out about Conscious Youth Media Crew, we are a digital filmmaking and multimedia arts studio serving the Bay Area. We provide technology training to empower high-risk youth between the ages of 15 and 23 to create quality media that represents their experiences, stimulates meaningful dialogue, and promotes social change.
I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so thankful that everybody is here to join us for this very special celebration. We have been working for the last year on this very important project with an outstanding group of young people who really brought it together to bring us here tonight. So first of all and foremost, I'd like to thank the Creator for having us here and blessing us with this evening of unity in the community. This is what it's all about. And really, I just want to say that we at Conscious Youth Media Crew present this film, A Choice of Weapons, as a gift to the Bayview community. We love our people in the Bayview, and we really wanted to expose and share the issues that the Bayview is dealing with today.
Youth Outlook documenta corrientes casos y temas sobre su comunidad. Para más información, irse a youthoutlook.org.
Alright, Yo TV, unfortunately, this is the end of our show. We saved the best for last. This is Val.
It's Valerie, feel me? I'm behind the scenes doing the camera thing. Y'all already know, feel me? That's how I do.
But
check us, Queen BG.
Check us out up next.
Youthoutlook.org, newamericanmedia.org.
Check me out on the
Youth
internet.
Outlook, feel me?
We see you next
Check
week.
us out. For real.
Almost got hit by a car.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's real stuff right here. We almost got hit by a car though, for real.
For real.
I'm really mad.
Y'all know y'all gonna miss all this. For real, for real.
We is Yo TV.
We'll see y'all in a second. You're gonna see me on camera a lot more. A lot more.
You know we gonna do that over.
This is Yo TV.
Go get a personal shot of me. Man, we still up here at Yo TV. This how he making the shirts right now. Look at how he sweep that shirt though. Well, not a shirt, but the little thing. And he painted it
Top
up.
over it.
Try to get on top of it, see how it's doing. Like, go closer before you can see the print of it though. It's like really a print on the shirt. Well, not the shirt, but the actual thing. See that? Watch how, now watch how he come out with this part though. It's like, wow, like magic. Look at it. Look at it. Can we get a shot of that before?